Let's talk about college football week 4. The two best games of the weekend were Clemson at Wake Forest and Oregon at Washington State. There are two quarterbacks this weekend that jumped on my radar like never before. Number one, Clemson beat Wake Forest 51-45 in double overtime. Game was at Wake Forest, by the way. Story of the game, unequivocally in my opinion, is DJ Uiagalelei, the Clemson quarterback, had the best game of his career in college football so far. I absolutely loved it. I have been skeptical. I've been critical. I have not been a believer in DJ Uiagalelei. My fear going into this game was that DJ was going to be a limiting factor, that he would hold his team back. That was not the case. DJ went off. He had 5 touchdown passes, ton of big-time throws, 0 turnovers. He is the reason why Clemson won this game against Wake Forest. And look, DJ was a big-time recruit. They went from Trevor Lawrence to DJ. He was supposed to be the next big guy. Last year, he kind of flopped. Wasn't that impressive at all. This year, this game, the first time at Wake Forest on the road, this is the first time I've seen DJ during his career where I thought, hey, that's a guy I expected him to be. That's a guy who looks like a potential NFL quarterback. I thought he played at a really high level. He delivered, man. DJ is why they won this football game. Like, you can't win that game without the performance DJ had. And, I mean, on the road in a big game, well done. And there are tough games ahead for Clemson. They play at Florida State. They play at Notre Dame. They play Louisville, Malik Cunningham. They play South Carolina and Spencer Rattler. That's an SEC program. They're probably going to play Pittsburgh in the ACC title game. But if DJ plays at a high level in those football games, like he did against Wake Forest, then Clemson probably wins. And so I thought this was I would even say defining moment so far of DJ Uiagalelei's career. And the first time really I've gone, you know what? That dog will hunt. I really walked away impressed with DJ and really happy for him. And I want to see more of that from him. I want to see him play at a high level. And if he does that, he's not only going to take Clemson to where, they could be again, which is a college football playoff spot. But also, if DJ plays like that, he's an NFL quarterback. Like, he looks the part. He's a massive dude. He's got a strong arm. And I've really, I've been critical of him. I have. But he put in a lot of work this offseason. I think he evaluated himself and said, I got to be better. And I think the threat of Cade Klubnik coming in to maybe take his job was enough for DJU to go, I gotta make some changes. I got to get going. And he really did against Wake Forest. Well done for DJ Uiagalelei, proving me wrong. I really was like, I don't know that he can win this football game. And he did. He's the reason why they won. Well done, DJ. Wake Forest, man, they couldn't quite get Clemson, though. I want to point out, this is a key detail that might get missed for Wake Forest. Wake Forest chose overtime. They had the ball 4th and 5, 39 seconds left. Ball was just past midfield on Clemson's 48-yard line. And Wake Forest decided to punt the ball away. They accepted overtime. It felt very passive to me. I wish they'd gone for it. I think if you go for it and lose, you say, hey, we went down swinging. I don't know why you chance it in overtime. I don't know why you're saying, like, let's play for overtime. Felt wrong to me. You have the ball. You're at midfield, 4th and 5. You can't get 5 yards. You got Sam Hartman. You got a veteran quarterback. You have this awesome offense. You're scoring all game. I felt wrong to me. I really think Wake Forest made the wrong move. They opted to go to overtime and made kind of a passive move at the end of regulation rather than going for it on 4th and 5 at midfield to try to get in field goal range or score a touchdown. I just didn't like that. I just left a bad taste in my mouth. Okay, good luck in overtime. You lost. You could have at least tried to win in regulation. They didn't. They punted it away on 4th and 5. Didn't like that move at all. Now, shout out to Dabo Swinney. Dabo Swinney gets a lot of hate. I know a lot of people in my life that don't like Clemson's coach, Dabo Swinney. I think he's kind of cocky and kind of a loudmouth. I thought he showed a lot of humility in beating Wake Forest. He was very, very complimentary of their football program and their head coach, and was like, they're the champs, man. They won the conference, and I thought that was awesome. Well done by, I don't know. I walked away. I don't think they actually did win the conference though last year. I thought Pittsburgh won the conference. Am I crazy? Dabo said that, but I don't know that he's right about that, which is Crazy that might even be real, but he got to the, Wake Forest and Pitt played in the title game, not Clemson, so maybe that's what he's referring to. I don't know. But the way he was respectfully talking about, Wake Forest after this football game, I really liked that. I thought that was awesome. And classy move by Dabo Swinney. All right, Oregon at Washington State was an absolutely incredible football game. Came down to the very end. Oregon came back and won. Washington State was up 34-22 with 6 minutes and 42 seconds left in the game. Oregon ended up winning in regulation, 44-41. Oregon put up 29 points in the fourth quarter. That's unbelievable. There was a tough play at the end of the fourth quarter where Washington State threw a pick six on a screen pass. Just a good defensive play. I don't know, like theoretically, if you see that defender ready to jump the screen, to throw it in the dirt or something, but it's a tough one. You're kind of, it's a great play. It gave Oregon the lead. They won the game. Huge win for Oregon, man. On the road at Pullman, Washington, 29 points in the fourth quarter. Great win for Dan Lanning. I'm really happy for him. That's awesome. But the takeaway, though, Bo Nix is an awesome quarterback for Oregon, man. I'm excited for him. I think he's got, I don't know if he's an NFL quarterback, really. He's more like Jarrett Stidham, maybe a guy who's going to be a third-round pick and probably plays a backup for a lot of his NFL career. But this game, Bo Nix got outshined by a new star quarterback who grabbed my attention and I was really introduced to in this game between Oregon and Washington State. It's Washington State's quarterback, Cameron Ward. Oh, my goodness. This kid is unreal, Cameron Ward. Super talented. He's talented enough that if things go right, Cameron Ward literally could win a Heisman Trophy. Like, he's that physically gifted. Dude can run. He extends plays at a crazy high level. He's got a great arm. He's only a sophomore somehow. I didn't realize this. Cameron Ward, I knew he transferred in from like this FCS program. I used to go to Washington State, so I'm like Washington State quarterbacks. Gardner Minshew's the best guy they've had in a long time, but yeah. Jarrett Garantano, transferred in from Tennessee at one point, didn't even play. So I was like, a transfer quarterback from an FCS program, never heard of him. Like, who cares? I'm not going to really pay attention. And I thought he was a senior for some reason. Well, boy, was I wrong. Cameron Ward is only a sophomore, transferred in from Incarnate Word, which is it's an FCS program. Eric Morris was a head coach last year at Incarnate Word University, a college in San Antonio. He came to be the offensive coordinator at Washington State. He brought along his quarterback, Cameron Ward, with him. Dude, Cam Ward, future NFL quarterback. Like, I'm not just saying that. I try to be very honest and open, and I walked away like, this is one of the most talented quarterbacks in college football. Oh, my gosh. What the heck? It's now Bryce Young, Spencer Rattler, Caleb Williams, and this kid, man. This guy, Cameron Ward, is one of the guys who I'm like, him, Quinn Ewers, like one of the most talented quarterbacks in college football. Just incredible ability to throw the football. Another guy, Anthony Richardson's another talented quarterback in college football, but he's got a lot of progress to make. Cameron Ward looks great. Like, this is a kid who grew up in a small town, West Columbia, Texas. Small little college, high school football team. They were in a wing tee offense in high school. Barely threw the football. And it's crazy how he had no Division I FBS college football offers. Him, Josh Allen, like Aaron Rodgers went to Butte College because he didn't. Aaron Rodgers said about community college football because he had no Division I offers. Like, do you realize that? It's insane to me how these incredible quarterbacks get totally overlooked by college football recruiting. I don't know what's happening in college football recruiting. I watch some of the guys that play on Saturdays, and I'm like, how is that guy getting a scholarship to Notre Dame, to Texas? What's going on here? I don't understand. I don't know what's happening in college football recruiting. I don't know how guys like Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, and Cameron Ward are getting overlooked, but Cameron Ward, can't believe he's a sophomore. Like, doesn't look like a sophomore. He's so good at extending plays. He had him a home-esque level play on 3rd and 23. I thought he threw a touchdown. It was down at the 1-yard line, but, with him, he's so good at extending plays that it doesn't really matter if you're 3rd and 23. He'll throw for a first down. I mean, he's a stud quarterback. Cameron Ward, learned the name. Washington State kid. And what an impressive young quarterback. Blew my mind. Wow. Can't believe how good he is. Okay, Tennessee beat Florida 38-33. I mean, the quarterbacks are the story of this game. Hendon Hooker and Anthony Richardson. Tennessee's quarterback, Hendon Hooker, played a better game. It was clean, efficient, executed at a high level. Both quarterbacks are their team's leading rusher. I might have said that already. I can't remember. Funny how that happens. So Tennessee won. Their quarterback was better. Yeah. But Florida has this immensely gifted quarterback, Anthony Richardson. He's still developing, and sometimes he's still kind of a mess. Let's be clear about that. But I encourage you, go watch some of the days of Justin Herbert at Oregon, where Herbert's got a guy wide open and he throws it in the dirt on a 5-yard hitch, and you're like, what? How did that happen? Or Patrick Mahomes at Texas Tech he might have got Cliff Kingsbury fired. Cliff Kingsbury, Patrick Mahomes was doing all kinds of crazy stuff in college football. It was kind of a mess. It took a while for him to get better, and he had to sit for a year in the NFL before he's ready to play. But Anthony Richardson at Florida, if or when he figures it out, he is going to dominate everybody. Against Tennessee, Anthony Richardson was 24 for 44 passing. That's not great. 20 incompletions. 2 touchdown throws, 1 interception, and a fumble. He also ran the ball 62 times for 2 touchdowns. Threw for 453 yards. He had a throw on a corner route that I was like, with touch, by the way. And that's been one of the criticisms of the year so far, is that I feel like Anthony Richardson threw every ball on a rope as fast as he possibly could. I saw some progress this week. He took some off. He threw a ball with a lot of touch on a corner route. I don't know, man. Again, Mahomes, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, they all made a lot of mistakes in college football. But Anthony Richardson, all he has to do is get a little bit better every single game. I think he's doing that. And if he can figure it out, man, Anthony Richardson is a potential NFL superstar. He is so physically gifted. He looks different when you watch him. And he's not there yet. They're still losing games, but he's got time to figure it out. And if he does, Florida could win a national title. Florida could have Cam Newton or Joe Burrow or something. He really could elevate them that way. And keep your eye on Anthony Richardson. He's a work in progress, but he is getting steadily better every week I watch him. And man, am I excited about his future. Texas A&M beat Arkansas 23-21. The story to me was that Arkansas's mistakes really cost him. Arkansas's quarterback, KJ Jefferson, for some reason had a fumble on 1st and goal where, here's why I say for some reason. For some reason, he tried to dive over the line of scrimmage, the offensive lineman, the defensive lineman, from the 3-yard line. That's kind of like trying to dunk, jumping from the 3-point line. What are you doing? He fumbled. Texas A&M took that for a 97-yard touchdown. The return man handed it to a teammate. Chappelle handed it to Richardson, I have in my notes. Ran it for a touchdown. Crazy touchdown. If you haven't seen it, go look up the highlights on YouTube. There's only 1 turnover in this game, by the way. Wild that is what happened in the 1 turnover. Later, Arkansas had a bad snap on 2nd and 5. They were on the 16-yard line, end of the 4th quarter. They lost a ton of yards. That made their game-winning field goal attempt even longer. They missed their 42-yard field goal to go ahead and win the game. They missed it. Bounced off the uprights. That's pretty unfortunate. But Arkansas's mistakes, they cost them, man. And now Texas A&M, they're 2-0. Max Johnson as their starting quarterback when I say they're 2-0, they're 2-0 with Max Johnson as their starting quarterback. Got ahead of myself there. Seems like that change was the right change. And I walked away. My weird takeaway from Texas A&M is that they got this running back with a really cool name. Devon A-Chain. His last name really is A-Chain. I wish my name was A-Chain. Imagine Zach A-Chain. The swagger and confidence I would have instead of the name Schaumler. Dude, I wish I was Zach A-Chain. That'd be so cool. I'd wear a chain, have an A on it. I'd rock that name. Anyway, Devon A-Chain, 19 carries, 159 yards, and a touchdown run. Awesome for him, but I love the name, man. I walked away going that kid, that's a cool name. You could market that. And great win for A&M all around. Now, USC barely beat Oregon State. Game was in Corvallis at Oregon State. The crowd at Oregon State. Well done to you guys. You were loud. It was fun. USC barely won. They needed a last-second touchdown with about a minute left to win the football game. Did not expect it to be that close. And frankly, Oregon State's quarterback, I already forgot his name, threw 4 interceptions, really hurt his football team. That, man, you got that guy. He's sitting at home right now going we could have beat USC, but I had to turn over the ball 4 times. Ugh. Now, I've said, USC has a shot to run the table and make the college football playoff. Then they're going to get destroyed by Ohio State or Georgia or Alabama if they do make it, in fact, to the college football playoff. Like, USC's not going to make a playoff run or anything. But they might make it in. And I've said that USC is the Pac-12's best hope at making the playoff. And I still believe that wholeheartedly. And I will say, I've said this before too, all great teams get one bad game. Alabama almost lost to Texas, but they didn't. You got to find a way to survive your bad game. USC survived their bad game against Oregon State on the road in a tough environment. So, I don't know. I walked away going, yeah, my opinion hasn't changed on USC. They're the lone team in the Pac-12 that could make the college football playoff. If they can run the table and dominate the rest of their opponents, they have a shot. They're the number 6 ranked team in the nation right now. And they could leapfrog other teams as Michigan maybe loses, as if Clemson loses, if Alabama plays Georgia in the SEC title game. There's still wiggle room here where USC still has a shot at the college football playoff, but they have to remain undefeated. But I don't think a near loss at Oregon State is going to be the end-all be-all that's going to cost them a year. What would cost them is a loss. They haven't lost. They're okay. But they can't have another bad game like that. They survived the one bad game I allowed them. Every team gets one bad game. USC survived it. They can't get another one. All right, Miami lost to Middle Tennessee 45-31. Miami, Middle Tennessee. Ugh. Oh my gosh, I believe they're in Chattanooga. Is that right? I don't even know. I don't know where Middle Tennessee University is, but not good. Now, it's not shocking if you're a guy. I watched Miami and Texas A&M week 3. Texas A&M was severely outmatched. Miami, I'm getting all tripped up. Miami was severely outmatched against Texas A&M. They did not look very good. So it's not a shock that they lost a bad game after watching week 3, but terrible loss for Miami. They were ranked. They're not going to be ranked next week. Texas Tech beat Texas. Got to say this, guys. Without their quarterback, Quinn Ewers, I find Texas unwatchable. I don't care. He's been out hurt. I just want Quinn Ewers back. If Quinn Ewers comes back, I'm going to watch Texas again. Until then, I'm out. I'm done. Oklahoma lost to K-State. This is a game. If you want a game if you're like bored on your lunch break and you want to watch some fun football, look up K-State against Oklahoma college football week 4. What a fun game. Oh my goodness, guys. K-State was unranked. Oklahoma was the number 6 team in the nation. Oklahoma lost 41-34. K-State's quarterback is Adrian Martinez, the former Nebraska quarterback. He had 5 touchdowns. He threw 1. He ran for 4 touchdowns. He ran for 148 yards rushing. That is wild. I'm telling you. And by the way, Dylan Gabriel, the Oklahoma quarterback, played a great game too. If you want a fun game to watch on YouTube, look up Oklahoma K-State. You will not be disappointed. That's a fun game to watch, even just the highlights on YouTube. Michigan barely survived Maryland. Michigan beat Maryland 34-27. Shout out to Blake Corum, their running back. 30 carries, 243 yards. He ran for more yards than their Michigan quarterback, J.J. McCarthy, threw. J.J. McCarthy threw for 220 yards. Blake Corum ran for 243 and 2 touchdowns. Wow. Kansas football, shout out to them. Kansas is 4-0. I know you thought the Kansas Jayhawks were a basketball school, but their quarterback, Jalen Daniels, is really fun to watch. He had 4 touchdown passes and 4 incompletions. How about that? He had 5 touchdowns on the day. He had more touchdowns than incomplete passes because he also ran for a touchdown. Kansas beat Duke 35-27. The stadium was packed. The crowd was into it. Things are changing, I hope, at Kansas football. But a 4-0 start. They beat some good teams. They beat Houston, beat West Virginia. Now they beat Duke. Not awful wins, so I'm excited there. Finally, to end the show today, Appalachian State lost to James Madison 32-28. Appalachian State's had a wild year, man. They barely lose to A&M. They upset whatever the heck. Every game has been within 4 points for Appalachian State, and they lost a close one to James Madison. Probably the last time all year we'll talk about App State, but what an interesting week, and college football week 4 is really fun. Now, here are the rankings now in college football. Oklahoma's dropped from number 6 to number 18 after losing to K-State. K-State is now ranked. I believe they're the number 25 team in the nation. Good for them. Here are the top 6, though, in college football. All 6 are undefeated. Georgia's number 1. Alabama's number 2. Ohio State's number 3. Michigan is number 4. Number 5 team in the nation is Clemson. Number 6 team in the nation is USC. Kentucky and Tennessee are number 7 and number 8, respectively. Both teams are undefeated as well. However, both will play Georgia later this year. In fact, Tennessee will play Georgia and Alabama. So I do not expect Kentucky or Tennessee to run the table. But there are 6 teams right now that have a shot at the college football playoff. Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State, Michigan, Clemson, and USC. I would write Michigan off, but we'll see. I'm really excited. I hope they have a great matchup that can challenge Ohio State. They got the right quarterback playing. They got J.J. McCarthy. He's awesome. Clemson, they got some tough games, but DJ Uiagalelei has to keep playing at a high level. He did against Wake Forest. If he can keep doing that, Clemson could make it back to the college football playoff. DJ gained my respect this weekend. USC, close loss to Oregon State. They can't do that again, but they remain undefeated. And if they dominate the Pac-12, which that's really all the Pac-12 has needed for a while. Like, they just can never get a team to go undefeated in their conference because every year they beat each other up. If USC can go undefeated, I believe they will make it into the college football playoff. Oh, yeah, by the way, if you want a fun quarterback to look up Cameron Ward, the quarterback at Washington State. That dude, oh my goodness, what a quarterback. So much fun to watch. Playing really well. Kid came out of Incarnate Word. Have you heard of Incarnate Word? I hadn't even heard of them. I believe that they're a college. They're in San Antonio. I read it online. What? He's an NFL quarterback. How is he hiding? How is that possible? Look up Cameron Ward. Highlight of the weekend for me, watching Cameron Ward almost beat Oregon, playing really at a high level. That's an NFL quarterback right there at Washington State. He's only a sophomore. Wow. Go watch him.